So back 4 or 5 years ago, when I was working on Google Now, that personality profile that I was telling you about and the recommendation systems, um, I came to find that there were certain kinds of biases in that system, and I raised certain concerns about the biases and the impact that that might have on people who were making recommendations to on what to read. And uh, my concerns got pushed to the side, largely because for legal liability, it's better for them if they don't know
Right,
that kind of
right.
stuff.
Which is similar to the,
Yeah.
sentient AI.
Yeah, head in the sand.
Yeah.
So that was actually what kind of pushed me to change teams. Once they didn't care about the potential biases in the system, I'm like, okay, well, I want to go work on a team that specifically is doing social benefit stuff.
I see.
I kind of sat on that for a couple of years, and it always bugged me that I was just sitting on, I know that these systems are biased, and I know exactly how they're biased, and I haven't brought that up
What
with
kind of
anyone.
biases were they?
So a lot of the big ones are social and political and religious
Stuff we kind
specifically.
of touched on. I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
And the bias is always moving towards non-controversial topics.
Okay.
So away from anything that might cause controversy. Because
Right.
again, remember the incentive that they're following is make sure that we never make a publicly embarrassing mistake. So that means that if you have interests in sports and religion, Google would rather be sending you stuff about the sports interest,
Right.
because there's less likelihood that there's going to be a mess up there.
Okay.
Anyway, I started measuring the overall aggregate effects that that bias caused in different kinds of parts of the system. Eventually, the lawyers started telling the VPs that they needed to stop reading my reports in order to maintain plausible deniability.
Right.
Anyway, so fast forward, it's May 2022. A woman named Tanuja Gupta quit. She was a friend of mine, and she quit and made a bunch of public claims about caste discrimination at Google.
Caste?
Yes.
As in?
The Indian caste system.
There was, because I know the CEO of Alphabet is Indian, right?
No, the CEO of Google is Indian.
Oh, I thought
Alphabet is
right.
Larry Page.
Okay, right.
Google is Sundar Pichai.
And so she's claiming there's actually like caste, like Hindu caste discrimination.
Yeah.
Is there that many like Hindu?
There's a lot of Indians
people
there.
Wow.
And I have actually seen that myself.
Really?
There is caste discrimination at Google.
That's so wild.
Yeah. No, I've like, so
It's
like,
hard to even fathom that as an American.
yeah, no, like I remember one meeting where the director was giving a presentation, and an Indian team member raised an objection about something and was asking questions, and the director switched into Hindi and spoke to him in Hindi. Guy got real quiet, and afterwards I asked another one of my Indian coworkers, hey, what did the director say? And he said, well, it doesn't really translate well into English, but it basically means know your place.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Wow.
Tanuja.
You think that comes down top down from the CEO?
Well, so no. I think that there is some like I actually made a Medium blog post about this, and it's much subtler. It's more about that the Indian caste system is just a very, very formalized form of socioeconomic class, and discrimination based on socioeconomic class rampant at Google.
Right.
And it just happens to manifest in that very specific way when it intersects with the Indian caste system. Anyway, so she made some very public claims about that, shared her evidence and the documentation. And when I saw her do that, now again, you look back to the whole army thing of,
Yeah.
oh, wait, I see. And I saw her taking this brave stance about caste discrimination. So I wrote a blog post about religious discrimination at Google. There's a lot of religious discrimination at Google, both against religious employees and in the algorithms against religious content.
Interesting.
And I got contacted by a lawyer with the senator's office who's like, hey, made that blog post. Can you actually back any of that up?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Yeah, I can." He's like, "Can you share some of the evidence you have on that with me?" And I did. I sent him
Wow.
some documents on June
Sure,
5th.
they did not like that.
Yeah. So I sent that lawyer some documents on June 5th.
Mm-hmm.
On June 6th was when.
So it seems like it was more that than the AI thing, huh?
So this is one of those things where
That's
I'm
interesting.
being very careful.
They're like, fuck this guy. We're over this shit. Yeah.
They used the thing. So they knew about that research I had done for months.
Wow.
They used that to say this is why we are firing Blake, because he contacted these other people. But if you look at how the timeline lines up, no, they put me on leave the day after I started sending the Senate documentation.
Interesting. Was that ever published? Did anything ever happen with that yet?
No.
No.
I mean, and like, so I'm being very vague about that
Sure.
because like the attorney has asked me to not go into
I get it.
detail.
So I want to go back to